Okay, we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Tom, take it away.
Are you kidding me? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You take over from here, right?
Yes. Roll call. Trustee Beeman?
Here.
Trustee Myers?
Yep.
Treasurer Jarvis? Here. Clerk Delamata here. Supervisor Mitchell?
Here.
All present.
I'll move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
I will also move to approve the minutes from the April 8th meeting and the April 21st special board meeting.
I'll support.
Are we supposed to
All in
do
favor? Sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
All in favor.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Thanks, we'll get through it.
Get ahead of
It takes a
yourselves.
minute. Yeah.
It's getting hot out, yeah.
Approve minutes? Did
Yep.
we do both
Yep,
of them?
we did
Yep.
both
We
of
did,
them.
yeah.
Yep, now we're on the treasurer's
You
report.
guys are too fast.
The April 1st, 2025 general fund beginning balance was $1,155,360.23. Revenues totaled $91,915.37. Expenditures totaled $89,617.39, leaving an ending balance of $1,157,658.21. And we do have one budget amendment already, unfortunately. When we did the budget, we didn't know how much our insurance renewal was going to be, and it did go up. So I'm asking for a budget amendment to move $2,415.75 from contingency to insurance.
I will make that motion.
Okay?
Support.
Is that roll
Should we
call?
do roll call for the
Yeah.
budget amendment?
Sure.
Okay. Trustee Beeman?
Yes.
Trustee Myers?
Yes.
Treasurer Jarvis?
Yes.
Clerk Delamata, yes. Supervisor Mitchell?
Yes.
Okay. And extra disbursements. Nothing out of the usual, just a higher than anticipated insurance renewal cost. But that's really the only thing that will be on there. It would be anything out of the norm, so.
And I will move to approve the regular bills for the month of May.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, brings us to public comments, agenda only. Anybody want to start with that? That looks like a big no. All right, on to new business. Is that me or you?
For what?
Well, is it, do I
Yeah,
read these? Oh,
you're good.
Sometimes I get tangled up.
That's okay. We'll get through it.
All right, new business. First is a motion to approve the hazard plan resolution for number 2025-07. Did everybody get their little thing to understand what it was? Because we weren't printing that one out.
Oh, not 700 pages, that's for sure. But, and this plan is for the next 5 years, so it's 2024 to
5 years.
2029. But I will make the motion.
I'll second.
And we'll do roll call vote. Trustee Myers.
Yes.
Treasurer Jarvis.
Yes.
Trustee Beeman?
Yes.
Clerk Delamata, yes. And Supervisor Latrell?
Yes. Okay, next is a motion to hire for a recycling attendant, which is out at the transfer station. We already got one kid doing it, and we just need to fill in the 2 odd weekends, so. We put out a job posting, we had, I think, 1 applicant, so.
One day a
we're
week
making it-
being
yeah,
Saturday
it's
is the
not a
tough
glory-
position to fill, yeah.
glory job, no.
And this is different from what we hired last month.
Transfers for the garbage.
Okay.
Recycling is for the recycling bin only.
And you had an applicant?
We had one.
Okay.
Am I supposed to say who? Oh. See, I'm telling you, man, I'd be lost. Actually, we had a young gentleman, what is he, 18, I think? Caden
I think
Shappy. He was the only one that applied, said he'd do it, so. It narrowed down the interviews a lot. But, so we're making a motion to approve to hire him.
I'll make a motion to hire him for the attendant.
I'll support.
And that will be at the same pay rate as the other recycling attendant, right?
Correct.
I believe, yeah, I believe that's what he said.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, next is the motion to hire a summer help position. Another one of those jobs, we got 1 applicant. And it's a short term, probably a month and a half this summer. 90% of the effort of that person's job is gonna be the Horton Cemetery. That they're gonna just focus their efforts over there. By the time they get that cleaned up, looking nice, it'll be time to go back to school anyway, so. And that 1 applicant was Elise Jarvis. So I'm asking a motion to hire Elise for the summer help position.
I'll make that motion. I'll support.
I'm gonna recuse myself from voting on this one.
Okay. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Heather?
All right, now motion to accept the grant that we just received for security lighting out on the pickleball courts and playground. Honestly, I think by the time we finalized it all up, we ended up going, instead of 2 lights, 4 lights for cost purposes. It should, if it works out right, it should shine somewhat across the track, so if anybody wants to walk up the track in dusk or, you know, feel comfortable, you can see around. And it should shine into the first half of the parking lot, so you can feel good about getting back and forth to your car after dark or at the edge of dark or whatever. And then it'll shine this way and that way on the pickleball court and the playground, so. We applied for a grant. I applied for, what's it, $5,000 grant?
Whatever
I
the
think it
max
was,
is.
and we got approved for 4,000. So there's a slight difference that we'll still have to pay, but the grant will cover at least 50% of it. So,
Yeah, yeah. That's great. I will make a motion that we accept the grant.
Second.
Is voice vote good? Voice vote? Yeah.
that's
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
okay, the next motion is to approve the remainder of the cost of those lights that the grant didn't cover. And I believe that balance was 3,700, or no, 34.
34.50.
$34.50, yep.
34.50, yeah, see? Don't allow me to do nothing.
I'll make
Yeah,
that motion.
34.50, that will be the balance out of our pocket, but it'll get all the lights up.
So they're gonna put in 4 poles and 4 lights?
No, 1 pole with 4 lights.
that's gonna be enough lighting to cover,
These are the big old honking
okay.
floodlights. And we had it set up at first for 2 lights. And then when I talked to Josh, I told him our future needs, he's like, these lights are huge, dude. He said, I could put 2 more on there. It was gonna cost us to put another pole for the parking lot, like another $6,000. He's like, I can put 2 more lights up. He charged us only cost on the lights, so it was an extra $495 or something. And I'm like, do it.
Yeah, because the trenching is really the
The
biggest
trenching
cost,
was
right?
what
So,
was ridiculous.
yeah, it makes sense to put as much as we can on there.
Will those lights be on all night, or are they dusk to dawn
Dusk to dawn.
lights?
Yep.
Every night?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, and they're high enough where I told Josh if one burns out, he's climbing up there and fixing it.
Well, I will make a motion that we, no, you didn't, or you started to?
I started to.
Okay, well, I'll support it that we
Okay.
pay the additional $3,450 to have the lighting done.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Trustee Myers,
Yes.
Treasurer Jarvis?
Yes.
Trustee Beamer?
Yes.
Clerk Delamater, yes. Supervisor Latrell?
Yes. All right, now, recurring business, old business, whatever you want to call it. Update on abandoned boats on Clear Lake access. I see some of you guys are here, and right now, I've been working with Captain Hermans to the Sheriff's Department. Talked to him last week. He said right now that he recommended that what we do is we make sure, because this gets videotaped and a lot of people watch it. He said, make your announcement here that hopefully within the end of this week or first part of next week, he's gonna get a couple of Marine Patrol officers out there to check all the registrations, make contact, see, get them moved if they can. If not, they're gonna set up some kind of tag that says abandoned. And then once that's all taken care of, then you guys will have the authority to throw them on a trailer and haul them out of there and throw them away. But that's what we're doing. We don't want them here. We discussed the bringing them up here thing. We don't want them up here. And township, because it's private areas down there, we can't really spend no money. We're not gonna spend no money cleaning them up. But you guys will have legal authorization to throw them on a trailer, take them to the land or wherever, you know, and
How long are the tags for? In other words, once they tag them, how long do they have to get them out of there?
if they can make contact with people, then they'll make a verbal agreement of when. But the ones that are totally abandoned, they can't find owners, whatever, they're just gonna tag them that they're abandoned. It'll be up to them guys to, whenever they wanna pick them up and get rid of
Hey
them.
Chuck, you mentioned the landfill, and that does work because I abandoned a boat over there a few years ago. I just took it over there and pulled up on there, and they come up and hooked onto it, and it was gone.
Yeah,
So they
and most
do-
of these aren't really big, I
The
mean. they're
last
more
I
of a-
knew, they do accept over there.
Yeah,
What are you talking about, them guys? Like, who is actually going to be the ones responsible for taking these vehicles?
I can barely hear you.
any residents down there.
So you're basically just going down and tagging boats, you're not doing anything about that?
We're not gonna take and spend any cost to pick them up and get rid of them. It'll be the residents of Clear Lake to get rid of them after that.
So that's perfect. So, from what I understand, it's the road commission who's responsible for maintaining all of the public accesses onto Clear Lake.
We'll wait for public comments on that, okay? In a couple minutes, everybody here will have a minute to talk. You're fine. So you guys kinda got the gist of it now? And as soon as he gets back with me, he'll let me know, when he's gonna send a couple officers out, I'll call one of you guys or whatever and say they're coming out. We'll try to all meet at these, walk them through and get this finished up.
Chuck, so I guess what I'm hearing is, I understand we want to get our arms around this and clean up the anti-focus. For the few of us on maybe 12th Street that have boats down there, if they're registered, legally registered, are we gonna be able to leave them here so we can at least use them? Is it?
I knew you were gonna ask me that.
Right.
And unfortunately, this is how it's gonna end up working. And we're gonna probably, we've agreed that we will probably remake or make a couple of signs that are gonna say, pedestrian use only, public access, cause that's a big issue down there. No boats left overnight. Otherwise, we're gonna be right back where we are. And not, no offense against you,
No.
but your boat would just sit there all summer and then Joe Blow's gonna say, why can't mine? You know? So it's, we either have to get them out of there and it's not a docking station no more, or we don't do anything about it.
Or the few people that have them there, can we register with you and say, leave them, or is that?
Well, unfortunately, again, we're not legal. We're not the law. We,
Right.
whatever we do, the county's gonna tell us how to handle it from that point, and it'll be removal and nobody can stay there. Now, if you know your neighbor and he wants to let you put a little peg in his yard and you just tie your boat to his property, there's nothing wrong with that. But to leave it in those walkways, it's probably not gonna be okay.
All right, so it's gonna be cleaned up. Well, I just wonder if there's a chance to leave a couple of them, but.
Okay, I've gotta make a polite announcement here. Once we get all the way through these, then we'll ask for public comment. And that's when you guys can come up and do your talking. You're fine, nobody's broke any rules, but it's just, this is kinda how we gotta do the format. All right, so we're good on the Clear Lake thing? Of course. I mean, that's what public comment's for.
Yes.
Okay, now we'll move down to update. I got a letter from, anybody that's been paying attention, from Paul Hahn on the Maple River project that's been going on for years. They froze the funding, what, 2 months ago? I think it was 2 months ago, I think he was in. Maybe it was last
May
month.
have been 3 months ago.
January 20th, it says here.
Oh,
That's when it was frozen.
yeah, they
But he was in
froze
last
the
month.
funding and they
Yeah.
thought, honestly, they thought they were gonna be in trouble and not have the funding to even hang in long enough to restart. But he just sent me a email a couple days ago and said that they have released all funding and they are immediately going back to the project. So hopefully they'll start that bridge work sometime this summer,
It's good news.
which is, in my opinion, is great news. I'd love to see this thing happen within my lifetime.
Done a lot of work on it.
Oh, there's still a lot to go, but, so that's the update on the funding. And then, let's see, discuss the possible need, purchase of a new color copier
Yes.
with a self-taker.
Yes. Very exciting. This isn't necessarily an emergency purchase or anything, but our current copier's 10 years old now, and she only has the capability of doing black and white. And I went ahead and got some quotes from Applied Innovation on getting basically the same model, but it has a color option also, so we don't have to hijack the inkjets when we want to print something nice. And it also has a internal stapler, so if we are printing packets and things like that, we can have the machine do it instead of like taking forever to divvy everything up. Their price came in, I thought, at a very reasonable rate. Apparently we're getting a discount from Rico to purchase a a second machine from them, and their purchase option came in at just over 3,800 for the whole machine with the internal stapler. They do have a lease option, but it comes out to a lot more than the purchase option is, and I would recommend that we do the annual maintenance plan also with the machine, because we're using that. We're doing the same thing with our current one, and it saves us a lot of money on toner, because those cartridges are not cheap. So, again, not an emergency necessarily, just more of an upgrade.
Does
Just figured I'd put it out.
the annual maintenance, does that include everything you're gonna need in?
Yes, yeah, which is the biggest expense really of running the machine is the toner cartridges.
And
we put in
that's
there.
the 600 a month?
Yeah. And
A
then
year, a
It's a
year.
year.
600.
Or yeah,
I'm sorry,
that's their
600 a
annual,
year.
right.
600 a year.
They last for a
That was
long
close.
time.
Yeah.
Putting the money in.
I feel
Right.
bad because when he said that, I was like, I thought it was a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do have an additional charge if we go over a certain number of copies with it, because that means that they're spending too much in toner if we're using too much of it. But we haven't gone over that threshold yet with our current machine, and I don't see us going over that threshold with the color one either. But they're billed at 77 cents per page for color, or 13, wait, what is that?
0.01.
0.013, so it's like less than 2 cents for color, and or black and white, and then color is 0.076.
And that's
So like
only if
8
we go
cents.
over that threshold.
Right.
Yeah.
Again,
And
not
So
an
it'd
emergency,
be,
but
to lease it would be over $8,700.
right.
Yeah, that's what we figured out too.
It's a lot.
And when you lease it, you also have a repair guarantee on it. If it breaks now, we call and we do time and material with the company.
Right.
So when you're leasing it, then you have no worries. They come out and they fix anything. I think it's a 4-hour response time, which not always do we need a 4-hour response
No,
time here.
but it's nice to
Yeah,
have.
but
That
almost
would be if it was-
$5,000 more, that's a lot.
It's a
If it
lot.
was critical and that machine had to be running for specific reasons, that's why they do it that way. So
For the-
general maintenance is the best way to go.
For the $5,000 extra dollars to lease it, you could buy another brand new
A
machine.
whole nother one, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And this has been a great machine. It's not, we haven't needed anybody to come out and repair it.
If we approve this, then we can donate the other one to a organization.
Yeah, we
Right, that
talked
would
about
be the
just
other-
donating that one to a nice
Right.
organization that could really use it.
Right, because it's still a good machine, it's
Mhm.
just,
Or do we want to run to?
I hate to be the downer on that, but we would need to check with the auditor on that, because this is public funds that purchased that copier. I don't know if we can give it away. We might have to
Oh,
try
We
and
ran into that before.
sell it, yeah.
Mm.
it's a good thing he'll be in next week.
Yeah, he'll be here next week doing our audit, so we can ask him.
Aim to sell for $5.
Yeah, right, or
Okay.
something along those lines, right? But we can, Applied Innovation offered to take it away basically, but I think that's a waste of a machine really if it's still functioning while we're just ready to upgrade it. So if we can, be nice to either donate it or
Sure.
sell it for $1 or something to somebody in need, but
The ink that we're buying currently for the couple of copy machines that do
it's
color is
expensive.
very expensive,
Yes,
so.
and it goes through it very fast because they're
Mhm.
inkjet
Cartridges.
printers.
I'll make a motion to purchase the machine and the annual maintenance.
A second.
Were we at that point?
We're
I
just.
think so. I mean,
Okay. I know this started out
it's
as
roll
just
call
a
vote. You can
discussion.
say no. No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
no.
Then attached to that, we can talk to the auditor about potentially donating it if it's possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
should we include
Yeah.
that with this motion or make
I
it
would
separate?
make it separate.
Yeah,
Okay.
just to
Yeah,
be a little
yeah,
bit more
that should
clear
be
on it.
separate.
Okay, so we'll do roll call vote. Trustee Beeman?
Yes.
Trustee Myers?
Yes.
Treasurer Jarvis?
Yes.
Clerk Delamata, yes, and Supervisor Latrobe.
Yes.
On that, I'll make a motion that we discuss donation of that machine with the auditor.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Starting writing notes.
I know, Okay.
Just for my own information, how old is that machine?
It's 10 years old. It's pretty old, but it's been a great machine. Like I said, it's not an emergency, but it might be an emergency.
I know it was
pretty
old,
soon.
but I wasn't sure.
I didn't realize it was that old, to be completely honest, but I'm impressed. But we don't want it to wind up being an emergency purchase at some point, so.
Yeah, because it does get used a lot.
Okay. We covered all that. We are now open to public comment.
Actually, I have a question about the security of the single person that's gonna be, young person that's gonna be cleaning up the cemetery. That stuck out. Yes?
So we're not really supposed to do question and answer, but our regular maintenance person is going to be working with the helper. The
Okay.
helper is just to
That-
help him.
Okay.
So if two people get it done quicker.
I just
We were
only
concerned.
heard
Yeah.
one person
Yeah.
alone
Yeah.
and
So
that,
that's all we
Yeah.
had.
and that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was a helper, so
Right,
that's
yep.
good.
Yeah.
And while I'm up here, and we have a house full, I'd like to invite everybody to please partake in our Monarch Way Station planting and getting more involved with the garden that we have going. And now I'm gonna let the Clear Lake residents do the rest.
Thank you. Okay. Next.
I'm Connie Wysocki, 6212 16th Street. Nothing to do with the Clear Lake, but I would like to see what we can do to get a fence ordinance in our area. We unfortunately, because there is no ordinance, have a very attractive fence in our neighborhood now, which I think truly devalues our neighborhood. And we come from Grand Rapids area, we're full-time here now. Everywhere, Muskegon County, we've looked into it, have fence ordinances. And they state that the side facing your neighbors should be the nice side and be pleasing aesthetically. That's how it's stated in the Muskegon. So I'm not sure what we need to do. I've talked to some of the neighbors around me. We just want this to go forward. It's just a positive for every neighborhood, so we're not stuck in a bad situation where we can't do anything, so.
Thank you. Next.
Somebody else? Oh, it's me? Okay. Good evening, Lynn Sampo, Ewing Road, Twin Lake, Michigan, Cedar Creek Township. Apologies for my tardiness. I mistakenly thought the meeting started at 6:30, so we were early, but we're late. Anyway, we are here today as the landowners of Samples Roost, located in Cedar Creek Township on Ewing Road. On April 9, we were sent a letter titled Assessor's Property Review, stating that our land had been selected for review. We responded in writing on April 28th, explicitly denying consent for any assessor or township representative to enter our property without a court-issued warrant. We cited Michigan legal precedent and made our position clear. Our no trespassing sign has been posted for over 2 years and is clearly visible. Nonetheless, on April 30, the assessor entered our property without permission and ignoring our no trespass sign. When informed she was trespassing and asked to leave, she stated she had a legal right to be there. That claim is false. Michigan law does not give assessors the authority to bypass posted signs or enter private property without consent or a warrant. Such actions violate constitutional protections and constitute trespass. We have documented this incident, which affirms both the implied consent via trespass and our rights, along with the legal limits of the township authority. We also want to emphasize that Cedar Creek Township is a general law township. Its powers are limited to those granted by state law. Township officials are not sovereign authorities. They serve to perform essential administrative duties, not to override the rights of private landowners. Too often, silence is mistaken for agreement.
But failing to say no when something is wrong is not neutrality, it's acquiescence. The people are the ultimate authority, and it is our duty to stand up when boundaries are crossed. We are not here to stir up conflict. We respect those who serve the public, but public service must be grounded in law, not assumption. We ask that this incident be acknowledged and the lawful, respectful path be restored. And I do have a written statement for this in writing if anyone wants a copy of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Next.
Can I answer that?
Sure.
I'm the assessor for the township. My name is Martha Hicks. I'm out doing my job. When I came to Lynn's house, I never had a letter until I called Chuck at the office. I said, Lynn kind of kicked me off her property. And I said, I've never seen that letter. And when I verified it by Chuck, when I called the office, he said it just came in. And I'd been out there 2 days working already. So she had to know I was out there. So when I didn't see that letter and I didn't get a phone call, everybody gets a notice that I go out there. I put my number right on there with my cell phone. I'm always identified. And when I didn't have that, I thought, well, she's gonna let me go on there, right? She didn't. When I got down there, she said, you're trespassing. And I said, yeah. I seen your trespassing sign, but when I don't get anything, then I do go down to try to meet the people, okay? Well, when I got down there, she kinda, more or less, I don't understand, I don't remember what all she said, but I asked her, I said, would you like me to call the sheriff's department? I said, I will call. She said, no. She said, I said, okay. Then I said, I will leave, and that's what we did. So I do not go on people's property unless I am, if I'm told not to. Ask Mr., what's your name? Tim?
Tim.
I'm sorry, Tim.
Yeah, I wrote on my
Yep,
response to please call me first or don't come.
right, yep,
And you called me first and I
yep.
said, I'm here, come on.
And that's what I do to people. I don't go on their property if I'm told not to go. Because they're either hiding something or they just don't want to be reassessed. But I can do everything from a satellite. I don't have to be on their property. I can see their garages, I can see their houses, and if it ain't on my property record card, then I'm adding it to it. So that is my job by the state tax commission to do my job. And if I don't, I lose my license. And I'm not losing my license because of one person. Sorry about that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mark. Next. Young lady, you better get up here.
Okay, sorry, I've never been here, I didn't know.
Oh, no, you're fine. You're fine.
I do apologize. I just had a few questions about it, and so.
Can't
Wait,
hear.
You need to speak up a
I'm
little.
sorry.
That's okay.
Name and address.
My name is Stephanie Van Oben. I live at 6356 12th Street in Twin Lake, on Clear Lake. I do believe that most of my questions were resolved. I did want to apologize. Say hi. But the one question I did still have is, are they going to, after you contact the Marine Patrol Division, are they going to be doing routine checks? Okay.
Nope. We, like I said, once we establish this point, after that, it'll be up to you guys to supervise it, maintain it, keep track of it, you know what I mean?
I like it. Good work. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Rochelle Myers, I live on Delson Road, and I would just like to challenge the assessor that Just because Mrs. Sample does not want you on her property does not mean she's doing something improper, and you kind of implied that in your statement. And I took offense to that. Because I don't necessarily want people on my property either, and I'm not doing anything illegal. That's my property, and I want to have a say on what I do on my property.
Thank you. Next. Got a lot of people here that haven't spoke yet. All right, Nancy, your turn.
Is it? Oh, good. I always have a question.
Oh, I know.
Actually, I have a couple questions.
Sure.
More the merrier.
You can ask them, don't mean we answer them. We might not have the answers.
I really appreciate the way that this is printed out for us for the board meeting, but what is the hazard plan resolution? I mean, it sounds really important, but I don't know what it means. I'd like to know why you people approved it. I'd like to know what it is.
Can I do it?
That's one of my questions.
Can I do it? Basically, all it is it's something that each township used to have to ask for. It's for natural disasters and such.
What's for
What they done now is Muskegon County has just balled the first step of getting a yes or no from all of us and said, we want to adopt this. We're letting you guys know if you're okay. If not, tell us no.
Okay.
The reason we didn't print it out, because when we looked it up, it was 686 pages.
Well,
And we're like,
that's fine. I like to know what I'm reading and what you
It's all,
people have
it's
approved.
basically a natural disaster coverage if something bizarre ever really happened in Muskegon County. That all townships are now involved.
Okay.
In order to collect FEMA funds, if we're eligible, if there is a disaster like that, we would need to have a hazard plan in place for it. So that basically covers us if there is some act of God that we need FEMA for.
And believe it or not, it's completely free to us. It didn't cost us nothing.
Right.
And another, well, I'm hard of hearing, so when I come to this meeting, if I had to sit in the back, there would be no way I could hear you people. Is there some way that you could approve some type of microphones or something for people like myself? Because I can't hear that well. I'd ask the board, I guess, to look into that.
We can look into that.
And also, I'd like to comment on the people on Clear Lake. Thank you for coming with your, with the access to boats, because we've lived in this community for years and years, and that's always been a problem, so thanks for showing up. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Next.
I just got a couple follow-up questions on Gwen's husband, 3416 Ewing. How long has the state requested reassessments at 20% a year?
I have honestly no idea. That would be Mark to answer that.
How long have they required that
I
assessment?
think it's within the last, I've been doing this since 16, so when I started here, it was in process then.
Okay. I just asked because I've been in my house since I built my house in '98, and I've never
You've
had
never
anything
seen the
happen.
assessor
Never
then?
seen anything go on like that. So it kind of, to get a letter like that, it makes me concerned. When you said that you had a legal right, you need to be aware that you constituted fraud saying that. And that can be a very big thing, so be careful with that. I'm not here to pass judgment, but you can't commit fraud.
Well, I didn't mean it the way she took it. My legal right was to be there to assess property, not to be on your property. what I meant.
Okay. Well,
Because
it's-
I understand what you're
Yeah,
saying.
but as you can see, it's very easy to
Right.
take it the wrong way.
Right.
So I just want to clear that up. I guess that's all. I just wanted to find out how long it's been, because, like I said, I've been there 27 years and never heard anything like that before, so, thank you.
Well, Darrell, before you sit
Darrell.
down, this really was a misunderstanding because we really had not received your letter saying not to come on the property. And this all happened, and I know you guys got excited and people here got excited, and we surely didn't mean any type of anger or anything like this to happen.
No,
And to put you guys out, because, you know, that's a stressful thing on the mind.
Yeah.
And I personally would just like to apologize that you guys ever stressed out about it. And it was just a matter of communications
I
got
was never
crossed.
angry about it. I just didn't understand the whole thing. Why now, you know, after this many years, why now, and this and that, so I was not angry. I just want to make sure that things done correctly. I mean, I don't know. All right, thank you though, appreciate it.
Thank you. Next?
My name's Tim Howitt. I live at 3060 Ewing, and I guess I just have a comment about the fencing issue and the reference of Grand Rapids does it and Muskegon does it. This is Twin Lake. Most everybody that I know in the almost 20 years I've been here lives here because it's not Grand Rapids and it's not Muskegon. So I hesitate approving something that would make it more like them, Grand Rapids or Muskegon. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Next? Come on, guys. Come on. You can do it.
Okay, so I'm coming back. Melissa Eikenberry, Clear Lake resident. I forgot to state my name before. I don't disagree with what he said about the Twin Lake not being like Grand Rapids. However, there is also, you know, we live practically on top of each other on Clear Lake, and we have cigarette smoke coming in our bedroom window, and we have, you know, so, and those are the things that happen when you live in a smaller thing. But there does have to be some sort of, you have to be able to have some sort of your own privacy, nice looking. If you're trying to make something look nice, then you have to be able to do that without having. Huh?
Called your property.
Right. And if we're gonna go that far, then, you know, and I mean, I could talk about the invasive species that are creeping into our yard because our neighbors are planting them. I could talk about, you know, the birds that are eating the autumn olive from the neighbor's yard that are coming pooping and dropping it in our yard that are planting it. So there's a whole lot of things that go into making a decision like that. And I also want to add your security lights. If there is any way that you can make those motion detecting lights instead of on all night long, like, that would be most beneficial for the wildlife. And as you know, I'm an environmental wildlife advocate, which, dear God, I don't know how that happened, but it did, and I'm not ashamed of that. I'm actually very grateful for that. So if there's a way that we can change the lighting to motion lighting, I would ask that you would think about that. Oh, economical too.
Thank you. All right, we're getting closer. Next. Go ahead, come on.
Yeah.
Go again if I may.
Sure.
Come on up.
Thank you. Lynn Sample, and I still live at the same address. I'd like to revisit the noise ordinance that was passed, how am I gonna say this? That was passed under the previous administration against the will of the people. Completely and totally against the will of the people. I would like you to take that on as a public request by the people. It's not worth the paper it's written on. I told a story during the meeting that it was passed against the will of the people, citing, many of you don't know this, our house was shot. We had bullets cross over our neighbor's property, onto our property, go through my deck chair, go through my siding, and landed on my dining room floor. I turned that bullet over to the sheriff department, who said he could do nothing about it because how could I possibly figure out who shot that bullet? We called the DNR upon the suggestion of the former clerk. She did a really good job. She put me in contact with the DNR. He said, well, that's probable cause and I have jurisdiction to go on anybody's property. He went over there, 2 addresses over, and he found a shooting gallery hanging in the trees. So there's solo cups and cans and bottles and everything, and he could tell by the direction of the spray and the debris, they were shooting right toward our property. Someone could have been killed. My daughter and nursing grandson were out on that very porch the day that that happened. I could have lost family members. Yet there's a noise ordinance. So the sheriff says, I can't possibly chase down who shot, who held the gun, who shot the bullet, all that kind of stuff. Then how on earth are you ever going to be able to chase down a noise that somebody heard 20, 30, 40 minutes from the time you call to they get on the scene? Because we're not nearby. It's a ridiculous noise ordinance. The DNR was able to resolve the situation, and there's peace and harmony in the neighborhood now. The folks a couple doors down from us live on the east side of the state. They received a visit that must have been a little bit bone-shattering or shaking to them over on the east side, and another visit over here when they were here. And the shooting is much, much reduced, and I think the hanging tree gallery is gone, and that's all been resolved, and there's peace and harmony. And just a side note, I'm opposed to any kind of offense ordinance. I'm opposed to most all ordinances. We can live in peace and harmony should we love and respect each other and communicate with each other. And you need to know that your parcel of land ends at your property line. And whatever you want to do and whatever you want to see happens inside those boundaries. Just like whatever I want to do happens inside my boundaries. And that's just how it is. If you want all the houses to look the same and all the roofs to look the same, then you need to live in a gated community that requires such things. We live in the country because we like to have eminent domain over what our place looks like and what we do there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
I'm Jerry Wysocki, 6212 16th Street. I want to comment on this fence ordinance. I don't think anybody realizes what's happening, but we had a family build a fence along not our property line, but we're up the hill from them, so we look down at their property. They put the good side of the fence towards them and painted their good side of the fence a nice brown color. Looks beautiful. On our side of the fence, we have graffiti. We got all kinds of bull crap that they painted on there. We've got psychedelic polka dots and swirls and everything. And that person was out there today again painting more of that nonsense. That's the problem we're having. It's not that they have a fence. It's what they're doing to that fence. Rumor has it that the person painting the fence said they're only doing this to piss the neighbors off. That's the problem.
That is the story.
I'm fine with a fence. I put a fence up, but I put an expensive vinyl fence, finished both sides, because I want my neighbor to enjoy my fence just like I do. And I talked to Chuck about it, and there's really nothing that legally they can do. These people are lunatics, and it's getting out of hand. So I don't know what can be done, but I think the township needs to protect those of us who feel offended.
For future, there's nothing we can do about this one.
Well, there's something we can do about it. Something has to be done, but I don't know what it can be done. You can't throttle these people back. It's not stopping. It's getting worse. So if anybody is interested, drive down 16th Street,
Make sure you're go on down to the end and head back.
head back and
'Cause
look
you'll
at the
see it.
beautiful nonsense that we have to look at.
We can see it.
And we're not for or against fences, we just want them nice if they're going up. People
Right.
have different reasons. I have a dog I have to protect because everybody else's dogs run loose.
Boy, don't I know it.
Mhm.
If you
Yeah.
put up an ordinance for the
$8,000
fences,
worth.
they're just gonna do it to their house. They're gonna what? Just do it to their house. They're gonna do what they wanna do, it's their
Yeah,
property.
you can't make
Exactly.
unneighborly people be neighborly.
And so, I mean, maybe a privacy fence on your property, and so you don't have to look at the eyesore, but I mean, it's their property, you know?
We tried to keep both sides of the fence, I couldn't.
Next. I know you're chewing on something. You chewing on something?
Hey, no, you couldn't. I don't like that fence either, man. It's ridiculous. It's stupid.
I've
It's
seen
fun
that.
fight, Larry.
Yeah, I've seen it.
But
Okay. Next.
That was brought up too.
I
don't know.
I'm
I
out
think there
there
would
on
be some
6134
consideration.
16th Street in Twin Lake. And yeah, that fence is a ridiculous piece of art. And as far as I'm concerned, it's graffiti. Okay? And if it's graffiti, I think there are ordinances about that within the township, or there should be. And quite frankly, it is an eyesore. And these people, they're just not good neighbors. Anyway, that's all I gotta say.
Thanks.
May I from the back? I could totally support a graffiti ordinance before I would support a fence ordinance. Maybe that would suffice. A graffiti ordinance, I don't know who would stand behind that.
These people were.
Not a bad idea.
If it's not paid for, it's
All right.
graffiti.
Anybody else?
Can I ask a question? I don't want to get up again.
Sure.
Can't you just put a fence up on your side?
Well, it's the neighbors next to us.
We can see it across the lake.
We see it every
Yeah,
time we
we see
drive
it.
by.
It's
an
not
eyesore.
just the
Yeah, doing it
neighbors,
purposely.
everybody sees
Well, I
it.
got a driveway.
It pisses everybody off.
Go for a few.
Sorry, I just.
We're 2 houses away. We look at it.
Oh,
Coming to this meeting, we saw that there was new art. on
Yeah,
it
there was
today.
new art.
Yeah, we've
Sorry.
heard a lot about it.
I was trying to.
Most of the neighbors are really good.
Yes.
You always have that one.
All right, is that it? Everybody get their say? I'm gonna say yes, and we are going to, well, we gotta do board comments now.
First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. It's nice to see that people wanting to get involved in their communities. You know, we take a lot of this stuff very seriously when you bring us suggestions, and we try to help as best we can. Sometimes we can't. You know, with the fences, I believe we went a couple months ago. We went over the fencing ordinances. It's very hard to enforce some of that, but you want to know what? Let's look at this graffiti thing and see what we can come up with there. Maybe that's a way to be able to eliminate it or stop it, or maybe what a couple of us board members can get together and see, maybe if we just went over and talked to the people, it might just piss them off to make it more. I don't know. Anyway, like I said, I would like to thank everybody for coming tonight. If you do come up with more questions, all of us on the board here are very willing to look. If you want to just give us a call, and we'll try and help you out with what we can help out with.
Which way are we going?
Her turn.
I'm good. Thank you.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to comment on
He
the
already-
officer?
Huh?
You want to mention the officer?
The SRO?
The officer. Lundell. What's going on with?
Well, I guess we really haven't gotten to a decision on that yet. So we'll wait, because that's coming up soon. But yeah, no, I'm in the same boat. Thanks everybody for coming out. I think we heard a lot tonight. A lot of things we can chew on now. And believe it or not, sometimes we don't respond right away, but we are paying attention and trying to get you the answers. I'm not going to call you back with an answer I don't have. You know, when I get it, or I'm going to call you back and say there is no answer. You know, but I will make the response in some type of a timely manner. But other than that, I mean, tremendous turnout. Don't wait till you got something to complain about. Show up. Come on out to these meetings. We all good. Heather?
The more of you that come out and state your opinions to us, the better we can do our job.
Right. I'll repeat that. That's, we don't know about the issues until we're told about them, really. It's a small township, but it's still, we're not necessarily driving around checking everything out all the time. So thank you guys all for coming. And it's a show of support for each other, too, that you're all here because you're all on the same page, which is, that's a pretty good spot to be, too. But thank you all for coming. That's all I've got.
Need the same comments. Always thank you for showing up. We're all very busy. Takes all of us to make this community work. Very good comments tonight. We do take everyone very serious. We look on a non-biased way. We will go back and take a look at ordinances and laws and such like that. We also have outreach. We have legal counsel we can discuss certain things with. It's a great community and we want great neighbors. And unfortunately, sometimes those people aren't always the greatest neighbors. But again, like Chuck said, we will come back with an answer. Sometimes we don't have the answer that we'd really like to give you guys or ladies, or there's a lot of thought process that goes in that before giving an answer. It's never a knee-jerk reaction. So in the committees, there's a lot of hard work that goes on behind the scenes. There's other committees that you don't see during the board meetings, Park and Recs, the Planning Committee, a lot of people very busy in the township. It's great to see us growing. And if you haven't been out on the track, go take a walk on the track. There was the latest for the Monarch Way Station. Amazing. Got to sit down and plant some different varieties of plants that we're going to put out on the way station. What it is, it's where the Monarch should stop and come through, and then we're actually going to get a surveyed or qualified, right? So that's pretty neat. There's a lot of neat things going on. So again, thank you everybody for coming out.
Thank you.
All done?
We're gonna move to adjourn.
Oh, yeah.
Motion
Adjourn.